We'll return to Star Trek following these messages.
Word Balloon is brought to you by the League of Word Balloon Listeners.
The Universal monsters are kind of just another set of icons to me. The Bride of Frankenstein, Creature from Black Lagoon, Frankenstein Monster, Dracula, the Wolfman, Invisible Man, and the Mummy. Approaching these monster characters intellectually is not such a different thing than the superheroes, except there's not really going to be an interpretation where I might bring to superheroes that are normally identified as drawings first, specifically because of these screen adaptations, because of those actors and the way they looked in portraying those roles.
If you're here at Word Balloon, it's because you like comics, creators, conversation, pop culture subjects. Would you consider joining the League of Word Balloon Listeners? Patreon.com/wordballoon. When you subscribe, you'll also be part of the Word Balloon Book Club, where Brian Michael Bendis and I will pick a comic every month to review and discuss live with the League on this show. Join the League today, patreon.com/wordballoon. Thank you always for your support, League of Word Balloon listeners. Welcome back, everybody. Time again for another Trek Watch here on Word Balloon, where we review not only Star Trek episodes, but we talk about other TV and movies that we've seen in the last week or so. John here, Wayne here, Mitch here. Franco is on assignment, and we'll get Franco's opinion of the latest episode of Strange New Worlds the next time he joins us. But we are here to talk about the 8th episode, only 2 left, of Season 3 of Strange New Worlds, 4.5 Vulcans. And there they all are. 4.5 Vulcans walk into a bar, and hilarity ensues. Or does it? You want to go around the horn? I give it 0 stars out of 4, boys. Wayno, your thoughts?
I loved it. I was laughing. I was laughing at 2 different levels. I was laughing going, this is so stupid. And then I was also going, oh my God, John's just going to blow up on this. John's going to blow up on this. And I don't know what it was. It was just like, I was laughing at it. And then I was going, oh my God, I can just imagine what you're going to think about it. And it just made the episode so much sweeter for me.
God bless you. Wait, Mitchell?
Well, you know, it's interesting. It was on, and most of the time I watch Star Trek and most of these nerd shows that we watch without my wife in the room, because she doesn't care about any of this stuff. And I did have children with her, and I kind of like to have some sense
Bonding.
I'm self-respect for myself. So I don't let her watch the nonsense that we talk about, cartoons and the rest, because I'm like, I am a 59-year-old man. But anyway, I had it on this week, and she was in the room, and I'm like, I don't care anymore. So I let my nerd flag fly. And she's watching it, and she's looking up because she doesn't know Trek from Star Wars. And she goes, what's going on here? I said, oh, well, they became Vulcan, like Mr. Spock with the airs. And even the opening Anson Mount's delivery with Space, the Final Frontier, was done in a Vulcan voice, because usually I skip over it because I know the opening. But she's like, what's happening? So she started actually watching it and asking like questions like, well, I don't understand what's happening. I said, well, they're very computer-like, logical minded, no emotions. And, oh, that's interesting. I go, really? So I started laughing at the humor of it, because it seemed like a Lower Decks retread. But then I was like, all right, so maybe I shouldn't take it so seriously, because it's not taking itself seriously. It's a comedic episode. So with that said, I actually enjoyed watching it. Usually I watch them in two parts, or I fall asleep because they're so bad I can't sit through them. But I actually watched this entire one in one sitting. She didn't stay for the whole show. She got up and left. She couldn't take that much of it. But I thought it was all right. I mean, it wasn't a 0-star. I'd give it, out of all they've had this year, it was probably the best episode of the season because it kept me entertained.
Okay.
And then there was even that post-credit tag, which they never do. And I literally just happened to get it by accident because I thought the show was over. I usually shut it off because they don't show trailers or anything. And then it was just running into the next show. And then I said, oh, there's a little bunch of I thought they were outtakes with Patton Oswalt with the high five. And I'm like, all right. And I was fine with that, except at the very end, he smiles. Spock smiles. And that's what just pissed me off, because he wouldn't be doing, like, pulling a joke because he's a Vulcan, but he does this whole thing. And at the end he goes,
well,
and
that was
like,
that's where I kind of leaned into more. Maybe these were just, let's see what they do when they riff. And obviously I think his smile was just kind of a candid moment and was in character. That's how I took it.
All right. I looked at it like, well, why would he be smiling? Then I'm like, look, they just watched a show where the main cast turned into Vulcan. I don't think we can take this too serious. This is a grain of salt type of show.
So. I get that, and you'll forgive me, guys, but one of the reasons why I have issues with this episode is they've done comedies before. I mean, we've had the baseball game in Deep Space Nine. We had everybody turning into Robin Hood characters.
Yeah, Shore Leave on the original show.
Well, and at least, and in Shore Leave, as goofy as it was, there were things that happened in the story that had consequences. And something that was missing from this show and this attempt was, like, if they had said, and also, first of all, we got to start with the premise.
Oh, okay, go ahead.
There's a planet. There's a planet that has only encountered the Vulcans. The Vulcans encountered them before they created the Prime Directive. They're the only aliens that this Vulcan race has found. But they don't have warp drive yet, but they do have super sensitive scanners. Why they need to use these scanners if Vulcans are the only alien race? Never mind, just go with it. Why also that if they've already encountered aliens, it wouldn't be that big of a surprise if a Vulcan showed up with other aliens, like, hey, you're cool with us. Yeah, never mind, just go with it. And that was just kind of the thing with every little bit that they created. Also, by the way, even before we get to the premise, La'an and Number One are having lunch, and Spock comes over. You can't sit here because it's 7th grade.
It's high school. I thought that.
Yeah. We don't. Yeah, you can't sit with us. It's like, really? And also, I like players. High five in the middle of a staff meeting. High five. It's, again, there's no reason for it, but they're just wah-wah the entire way. And in fact, if you listen to the music that they use, there's a lot of wah-wahs in the music of, no, this is supposed to be funny. And again, I'm sure I sound like somebody that is here to just crap in the punch bowl. Sorry, but I like shows where they actually have a point. All right, so regardless, they have to, the serum that changed Spock back from being human to Vulcan is reverse engineered by Chapel to make them Vulcans. A serum is going to change their DNA. And actually Blaine Dowler, Canadian Yoku Chips, we call him on the podcast, had a very good scientific comment about that. That's the thing. Everything it's magic. I mean, and they try to pseudoscience it. Well, we reconfigured the serum, and not only will it change your DNA from Vulcan, but it also is taking Spock's perceptions of Vulcans, and that's what'll change your your personality. I'm sorry, man. I'm so, that's just too much implausibility, and that they had to. I mean, it would have been better if they just said, "Hey, it's magic," or something, because to try and explain it with such BS pseudoscience, it's like I'm sorry, you're insulting my intelligence. Again,
well, John, you are watching a show where they deconstruct people's molecular level and beat
Right,
them
but
up and down. I mean, this is
absolute
a fantasy. You do know that.
Mitch, yes, 100%, Mitch. But they
Okay.
actually apply pseudos. Thanks for the obvious. But they
Well,
apply
I'm just saying. I
if
mean,
I
what level
may,
do you want to
they
go up?
yeah, but hold on. Yeah, but hold on. You're absolutely right about that. But the point is, they established that from the first episode that this is a science and this is how this science works. They don't give you a magic. Serums do not change your DNA. Period. Period. I understand. Listen, they figured out how ion propulsion could plausibly work. Sorry, I don't buy it. I'm aware of all the other pseudoscience tropes that Star Trek has established since 1966. But again, they try to explain it. And I really felt they really took a cab and decided not to really explain it well. And again, all the plausibility. Why is everyone like 2 blocks away, but the Vulcans are too far? You got Patton Oswalt, who's in the neighborhood. You got Roger Corby's in the neighborhood. Hey, look, it's Jim Kirk. Oh man, and you're from the Farragut, and your ship's in pieces. I mean, again, it's just like, why was Kirk didn't need to be there other than the scenes with Scotty. And by the way, one positive thing I'll give him, Paul Wesley, who I'm always haranguing on, it's the most Kirk-esque I've ever
was
seen
really good this
in
time.
any episode.
Yeah.
He felt a little. I still think he's the worst Kirk ever, but I do think that at least it was closer to a Kirk persona that I could buy. But again, and like I said, they had this thing of, well, it's Spock's perceptions of Vulcans, and that's what's changing. And then also all the goofy shit, the hair, the hair changing. Really?
Oh yeah.
Really?
Oh,
Also,
I was gonna do who wore it best. That guy that used to be in the Ringling Brothers Circus, Ballo or whatever his name was. Used to have
I don't
that
know,
big
but
hair.
another thing, why did Pike? Here's the photo. Why did Pike need the on wound or whatever the hell the weapon was called from Amok Time? No reason. Because it's funny. Isn't it funny?
Because it look cool. They look like
Yeah,
a music video, a boys band walking
They
down the
look
hall
like a
in
kick-ass
slow-mo.
group of
They're
They
going
did.
down.
Green Berets going on a mission.
They're going
They
down
did.
to repair a nuclear reactor. Is that like using a gun to nail?
Maybe it's a screwdriver.
Yeah, I guess. And La'an's carrying some sort of weapon too.
She's carrying a laser rifle.
There you go. And again, because we need a laser rifle to fix the nuclear thing.
Yeah, but I didn't. That was just the setup of why they were going to turn into it. I didn't need to see them fix a nuclear reactor. It was just like, go with it. But I got to tell you though, there's humorous moments in this whole thing. It's up there with like a Data's Day or whenever they did an episode swap or something. Hey man, the old Next Generation, they made them all little kids. That was a stupid episode too. You got to admit. So I mean, this is not unheard of when it comes to
but
weird
again.
stuff.
But they put consequences in those episodes, not Data's Day, which I understand.
No,
that's
there was
fine.
I'm trying to think of an episode where they did something.
No,
weird.
but Rascals is a good episode where they have them as kids, and then Ferengi suddenly invade the ship. What do we do? What they didn't have in this thing is, hey, we really need to turn them back into humans because their DNA can't, their whatever is still human in them can't handle it, and if we don't turn them back, they're gonna die. And we have to convince them that they need to turn back in. All right, some comments from the peanut gallery already. Mount sounded like Nomad to me. Yeah, I'm sorry. It's so over the top. Doctor, can I, whatever?
Yeah. I was wondering why he went that way. I was like, wow, what's up with the robotic sound?
Here, Mike Conrad says, this week's episode is one of the worst episodes of not just Star Trek, but any televised entertainment program ever, and I was only able to get less than halfway through it. Let's see. Also, Patton Oswalt is bad enough as a Vulcan name. Doug. And also, again, that it's because it sounds silly. That's the only reason. Just go with it. Let's see what else. Cooper. So I'll just gimmick episodes this season. Huge disappointment. I actually saw Henry Alonso Myers and the woman that co-wrote the episode, and Myers pretty much said in an interview regarding this episode. And it's like, we're trying to do different things with this series. That's what we're doing. Okay, I guess. But EJB, didn't they reverse the polarity of the TNA science? Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Third Doctor, among other doctors. And Pike had a Lurpa just sitting in his quarters. Well, that and also Was it the Lerp? Yeah, I guess it was the Lerpa. I guess is that the Lerpa? Because I know when
the harp
yeah,
thing.
with the X. No. That's
The sword. The
yeah, it's the sword. It's the X and the sword.
What's the thing with the harp that he plays? Spock plays.
I like it starts with an L as well. I don't know.
Yeah.
Feel free, Ombudsman, or somebody in the chat that
Yeah.
knows. Una and Patton's thing, and also Una's like turning into a giggling girl in front of
It's a
Patton.
lair. It's a lair. Someone just said.
Okay, liar. Yeah.
Liar, lair.
Yeah, liar. There you go. Captain Joe T. Kirk, good name. This episode was insulting to me as a lifelong fan of Star Trek. Yeah, again, I'm cool with funny, but you got to be funny. And if you just say, well, because we're trying for it to be funny, I don't know. It just did.
No,
I
saw
saw the jokes. They didn't make me laugh. I thought they were cheap, and I don't mean. I just thought they were lame.
I thought what's her name trying to take over the ship's engines and improving the weapons was cool because she was the Romulan part of her Vulcan thing. I said that's pretty clever because they were like, "What is she doing? Why is she doing this stuff?"
The con part of her.
Well, yeah. Well,
more
but
I thought it was the Romulan part.
Wayne,
of her.
I agree with you, but again, according to Myers and the other writer, oh no, she's being Romulan.
That's what I thought.
You know,
I didn't think it was the con thing.
Yeah, well, I should. Regardless, it doesn't matter. Make that a real threat. Make that a better B plot or C plot of, hey, everything seems to be fine, and everyone suddenly is much more organized with their thoughts and all this other BS. La'an is actually conspiring to take over the ship. Make that a real threat. Then you got some teeth. Then you have something interesting other than the romp that we got.
Well, I'll tell you this, Johnny. If it was,
Wayne, if I may, Wayne did have his hand up first, Mr.
Go ahead, Wayne.
You'll forgive me. Go ahead.
Okay, I thought my understanding from the episode is the change in personality had to deal with the individual's Katra.
Yeah,
Katra.
Katra.
So when you take
Leon,
it has to deal with her past with the augmentations and the whole Noonian. I did not listen to any episodes with the writers because I don't even believe a word they say. So, like, if they're saying this is all canon, I don't even go. So,
well, that's what you do. What do you
said
it?
No, she said it in the word.
Well, the two of them say it to each other. Romulan.
What I'm saying is, I thought the problem is if you look at each and every individual, they were reacting to their own inner personalities.
Sure.
And that it just literally went off the deep end.
Oh.
It literally augmented each of their personality. You look at Pike and doing all fixing up his room and all the cooking, the type of cooking, because that's Pike cooking. Lon was weapons because in her past, her ancestor wanted to take over the world. So that was the anger. I'm going to do this. We're going to take over. We're going to start wars. That was her.
That was Uhura.
Uhura's dealing with communications. What she wanted to do was to have a better communication with her boyfriend. So she thought the best way to do it was to adjust him through the. I just wanted to go through. And Chapel realized that relationships were deferring her from her own scientific studies. So boom, she got rid of the relationship, all the drama with all the So when I was watching the episode, I was looking at it like this, and especially when they asked for Doug's help. I love Doug. It was the stupidest thing ever. Oh no, John, sorry. I just wanted to finish this off. But when you look at how
keep going.
Sorry. When you look at each of the characterizations that each of the individuals were playing, it was to their own individual personalities that were getting messed up. And that's why you needed Doug to help out with, hey, you got to get your mind straight because the whole Vulcan experience is driving you insane. Sorry.
Go ahead. I hear you. Go. No, you
I
go
washed
ahead.
my hands.
What I was going to say to you, if this would go back to, what was it? Lower Decks. If this was a Lower Decks episode and this was all animated because they acted very cartoony like,
oh god, yeah,
would it be more acceptable to you?
Yes. because they did one like that. Remember they did the Tuvix
Right.
parody?
They all switched places. Remember that one?
Well,
They
no.
did the different ships.
Tuvix. No. Tuvix. They made fun of the whole Tuvix concept.
Oh
and
yeah,
for, like, all the
yes,
different
when they merged.
pairings,
Yeah.
and it got silly. It's a cartoon, and from day one, this is a parody of Star Trek. Okay, I'm cool with that. That's fine. But again, why was Scotty's pad classified to the security officer,
Oh, I
La'an,
don't even
who
know.
is the superior? Just because. Go with it. That's the thing. Every question I have on my very long list, it's just go with it. And it's like, okay, but again, previous episodes of live action would find even Trouble with Tribbles. The problem was, hey, we got to get this grain to Sherman's planet. They're starving. And we got to make this happen. And we can't trust the Klingons. And the Klingons are on top of us and they're pulling crap. So there's even that. But I mean, that's the thing. Piece of the action, we screwed up. Or actually, the old ship screwed up. And they blew the time directive. We got to get these people, thinking better and stuff. I understand
you just mentioned the Tuvix episode. That was a dog of a show back on Voyager when they
switched.
Why?
If I may, Mitch, there is a serious moral question of now this is a new being. Do we let this
there was
new
that
being
part.
exist?
Yeah, I remember.
Well, that's a big part, Mitch. Sorry.
They kind of touched on it here, but they said, why would anybody want to become human? Because I said, it's not logical. Honestly, if you were a perfect, a Vulcan's a perfect being. It's like they're logical. They do things. They're efficient. They're physical. So that does make sense compared to a human. But that's if you don't value emotions and stuff. So there's that whole thing.
But also, actually, a very serious thing that Pelly has said, and it's rare to get something actually cogent and serious from Pelly. She's like, hey, if they really want to stay Vulcan, that's their choice, which is great. However, if I may, it flies in the face, as you guys know, the new Star Trek and the attitudes towards new Trek. A lot of millennials and Generation Y and if there are Z watchers, they love it. They love it because they feel it respects, being different. They have made the analogy that Spock's own internal struggle of being half human, half Vulcan is very much something that the LGBTQ community can relate to. Dead naming, as we got in Picard season 3 with the Captain Shaw referring to 7 of 9 as Annika. Well, they're dead naming. That's not cool. And again, I respect those opinions. However, this episode, and I've seen many, I'm not saying one or two, Jesse Gender immediately comes to mind. And there's a show called Star Trek Salon, I believe, that have people of the LGBTQ community. They had a lot of problems with this episode. Jesse flat out is like they're being racist towards Spock. Now, again, it's a fictional race. I get that. I just didn't think it was very funny and felt it was kind of the pseudoscience was hokey. But here are young people, because I certainly made my opinion known on Facebook and showed that photo of, what the photo I have earlier of just, the 5 of them walking towards the transporter. And one goes, don't spoil it. I'm like, I'm not spoiling
it. That's the opening.
I'm like, well, and also we've known about this scene for over a year. So if
they showed it at San Diego, I think.
You got it. It's part of the trailer. But other people are, well, you're being old. You're an old man. Oh, you need more brain in your and all this. And well, I understand, but regardless, I'm like, hey, guess what? The kids have problems with this episode too. Well, I have, and they have these things that upset them about when others are disrespected, and unchecked privilege. That the writers didn't mean to do this, but unchecked privilege because you don't realize how sensitive this area is. Beto being mind melded by Uhura. That's a mind rape, everybody.
I thought that was dark. I thought that was kind of dark. I was like, really?
Yeah. So, I mean, that's the thing. It's like, give me a break. I'm like, which is it, folks? Oh, man, we're so proud because of our diversity and all this stuff. But, again, and also just Spock being the perennial punching bag. And once again, Spock's the jerk, Spock's the knucklehead, and everything else. I understand that it turned around and clearly, and even I'll be honest, the fight into the tango scene with Lon at
Yeah,
the
I
end.
saw that coming.
I'll even cut them a modicum of slack because they've established this relationship, and it went from, and obviously it's in her mind. So okay, I'll cut them slack on that scene. But oh, by the way, why'd they stay in their Vulcan garb after they were back on the ship?
Because they spend a lot of money making that costume and they want to get their money's worth. That's why.
Cultural appropriation, according to some.
Oh, please.
Again,
you know what? I gotta stop you. I gotta stop you.
Okay, stop me.
I gotta
please.
stop you. No, honestly,
I'm
to
listening.
bring in real world ideas and real world stuff constantly to defend why you hate something is getting very old. And I'm talking to you, John, because
Oh,
let
you
me
go
just
ahead and
tell you
talk
something.
to me about
I'm John. If you're going to
Go
interrupt,
ahead.
I'll shut up
Go
and
ahead.
leave. I don't care.
Go ahead.
Franco and
Go
I
ahead.
have another show to go to. So
Go
listen
ahead.
to me. I watched the show. I've watched Star Trek since I was like 6 years old when it ran on Channel 11. I've watched every iteration. I've read all the comic books. I've bought the shit. I've gone to every movie. I've watched all of it. I don't have to defend myself as a true fan because there is no such thing as a true fan. You could I don't like blonde women. Doesn't mean I hate all women. I'm just not attracted to blondes. I like brunettes. Doesn't mean a thing.
Right.
Oh my God, he says he hates all blonde women. You know what? You're an asshole. If you think that way, you're an asshole. Not me. That's your perception. I'm just saying, I watched the show. I laughed out loud a couple times. There were some gags in it. When it was all over, I even rewound it to watch one little bit because I said, did I just see that right? And at the end of the day, I liked it. And I'm not done yet. I liked the Fantastic Four movie that came out. I went to a comic shop today, said I liked it. I had 6 guys tell me why I didn't like it and why I hated it and why it sucked. And I said, gentlemen, that's your opinion. I've seen the movie twice. I paid my money. I enjoyed it. I liked the music. I liked the performance. At the end of the day, it made me 2 hours closer to death without thinking about it, just like all entertainment is. It's a distraction. It's not about incels. It's not about transgender. It's not about this. When you guys start bringing all that baggage to an entertainment show, you could say that about every single thing that's out there. You could watch Alien Earth and say it's about alien immigrants and against Trump's policies. You could watch Captain America and say it's a blind patriotic dream of Nazism where they made the perfect man by putting an injection in him and the super race and all that. You could watch Star Wars and say Luke Skywalker is the ultimate terrorist because he defeated a galaxy of evil empire and he's an outlaw. He's up there with Osama bin Laden, blown up the Trade Center. When you start bringing all this real world stuff to something that's meant just to sell soap, because that's all entertainment is to sell market stuff and get Paramount subscribers, you sound crazy after a while, John. You really start to sound nuts. Why are you wasting your time watching this? Go run for office. Go be a psychologist. Go help somebody that needs help. Work on a suicide prevention hotline if you want to do that. It's just a show, John. Why do you get so fucking nuts about this stuff? It's just a show about people in space. It's not real. There's no Vulcans. There's no transporters. It's just entertainment, John. Let it go. That's all.
Done? Okay, because now I get to answer you. Unlike you, who just described that when I give my disagreements, that everyone else is wrong. Never said that. Never will.
No,
Never
you just
said.
did, John.
I did not.
Started adding up. You said this
no,
guy said this.
No,
this guy.
No,
You
but
you have
me.
an army
Mitch,
of people
Mitch,
that makes you right.
Mitch, I let you talk. Let me talk, please.
All right, go ahead, John. Defend it.
Because I'm not. All I'm saying, Mitch, is my own individual opinion, and I'm pointing out that while people ascribe my opinion, well, you're an old man or whatever, I'm like, well, here are young people that have a problem. Like it or not, since the beginning of Star Trek, they've made analogies to the real world. Sorry, that's just the way it is. And again, I said from moment one, I am not offended by the portrayal of Vulcans. I just thought it was dumb and it didn't entertain me. That's all I'm saying. And again, also, I sleep very well disagreeing with Star Trek. And this is sports. I'm glad we have different opinions on this.
That's what makes it up.
Well, yeah, but unlike you, Mitch, and I'm sorry, but I am in a point because you have suddenly said, John, this is why you're always saying that we're wrong. I'm not saying anybody's wrong. Nope. I'm just saying I disagree. And I'm just giving my opinion, and I'm glad we have different opinions. That's good.
No,
that's
and I just say when you start to say
I'm not done.
all these people,
I'm not done.
Okay, go ahead.
Because again, I'm just pointing out that it isn't just, well, you're an old fan and you don't like new
I didn't
ideas
say
and everything.
that.
And I realize that. Again, you're not listening to what I'm saying, Mitch. This is what other people have said about me on Facebook. And I am pointing out that I've watched other reviews of this show, and these are younger people who were offended. I wasn't offended. I just didn't find it funny or interesting. I just thought it was too lame and everything. And again, I am always optimistic that maybe I'll like another episode. There have been episodes this season I've liked, not a lot, but there have been a couple. I liked the zombie episode enough. I liked the hegemony second part to the cliffhanger enough. So I'm sorry, I don't have a one note opinion. And obviously you're not listening to my opinions, and all you see is, well, you're always negative and you're always this and you're always that. Well, I'm sorry that you are short-sighted in your perception of my opinions. You are.
What did Wayne say when he started off? He goes, I was laughing because all I could hear in my head is how much John is going to hate it.
Right. Again,
every week I watch this and I look for the same thing. I go, what's he going to pick apart this time?
Well,
and when you started saying, oh, but these people were offended, but this one was offended, this one was that, are you just trying to build your case to show us why we shouldn't like something?
Because again,
you're getting all these people. How dare you like it? I was like,
if that is the read that you are getting, then I am not, much like Uhura, then I am not communicating what I'm trying to say. My point is that it's not just old men yelling at clouds that have this problem. There are young people that appreciate Star Trek. Smile all you want, buddy, but this is the truth.
No, I like when you said yelling at clouds. That's a funny analogy.
Oh, okay. All right, cool. But also that there are young people who like Star Trek for the real world analogies that it has. And they are the ones that are disappointed in this episode. And some were really offended by this episode. And I can name people that had that view of it. Not my view. My view was it was dumb and it wasn't that clever. And it wasn't that entertaining to me. It was just silly. And they seem to want to have it both ways where, oh, aren't we great and everything? And it's like, well, you kind of blew it on this episode. And even former Star Trek writers, Keith DeCandido, who has written a ton of Star Trek novels, he was offended by the episode. I mean, that's what I'm saying, man. So respectfully, I don't have one note opinions. And also then I try to be optimistic and hope for a good episode. And I really do it. There are other things that I don't understand about the episode. Captain Batel has a Gorn growing in her.
Yeah.
And I mean, that obviously, can we all agree that is a serious concern on the show? How does she get to be a judge if she's going to have a John Hurt alien popping out of her guts, possibly and stuff?
Because they don't look at her affliction as holding her back in her career. That's a real world thing, John. They don't let people go because they
they had it under control.
Because you know why, too? She could technically sue because she has a good lawyer, and they'll say they're trying to sue her for a pre-existing medical condition. There, I'm bringing in real-world stuff. Starfleet Insurance ain't covering that shit. They didn't tell you about that. She has to go get a loan and get some stuff off the black market to suppress it. But today, I was at this comic show today, and there's this big die-in-the-wool Star Trek guy. And he goes to the Ticonderoga thing every year where they have the sets recreated and stuff. He knows Star Trek like the back of his hand. He's read all the novels. And I said to him, did you happen to see this week's episode? And he said to me, I haven't watched any of the new stuff that started before Discovery. What was the one before Discovery? Was it
Kelvin movies?
He said, I have all the books. I read all the novels. He knows about the show. He watched the first season of Strange New Worlds and really enjoyed it. But then he said it went right off the cliff. And I said, I agree with you. It started here, then it went to here, and now it's down to here. I don't know what happened because it was really good 2, 3, whatever, 5 years ago. I didn't even know when season 1 was. And I said, well, he has kids. And he's younger than me, but he has little kids, and they're getting into Star Trek now. So he's giving them, like, okay, watch this now, and I recommend this. So they're watching the original, the OG, the next gen. They're working their way up to Voyager and stuff like that. And then I said, oh, have they watched the new Star Trek? And he said, oh, yeah, my daughter, who loves music and loves, Frozen and all that stuff, she really enjoyed the musical episode they did a year or so ago. And I said, what did you say? He said, I bit my tongue because it's my daughter and she really enjoyed it. And
Sure.
who am I to say she can't like something if she does? So I said, well, that's very open-minded of you too. He goes, but I won't watch it. I leave the room and I put it on for her. I go, okay, that's fine. Make your kids. I didn't like all the SpongeBobs I had to sit through when my kid was here. But
Sure.
the thing of it is, though, he said he sees this in fandom because he goes to all these conventions. He goes, the Star Trek people seem to be okay with everyone liking Star Trek, but everyone picking and choosing which Trek they like, which I'm like, well, obviously he hasn't watched Trek Watch, because I don't think I've ever heard you ever say you liked any Star Trek post Strange New World season 1.
That is so
Maybe
not
some
true.
lower decks here and there.
I have said
Prodigy.
that I came around on Lower Decks. I think it evolved, and I liked it. And I
Section
said-
31,
and-
you loved it.
Yeah, exactly. And Prodigy. You see, that's the other thing, Mitch. Respectfully,
Yeah, you
I
like
like
Prodigy,
that. I
and
like
I
that.
hated
I
it.
like that. No, but wait a minute. I like that you rank on me, but then you can tease about things that you disliked and everything.
No, I never liked Prodigy. I thought it was meant for children, and I
That's
was like,
fine.
I could see
But
why.
what unlike
Well,
what I've never done is any of you guys, when you've liked something and I haven't said you suck and you're wrong.
no, you never said I suck, but you
Well,
have
but
gone
you
after
just
Wayne
did
and I
about-
for liking Section 31. You ripped us
No.
apart. You're like, what are you guys
Well,
nuts? You're
again,
like,
I said I didn't like it. I'm sorry. I can sleep very well with that. And again,
but when you
I-
pile on all these other people to show us how wrong we were, Robert Burnett said, Robert
you're
Meyer,
missing.
and I go,
No, you're missing the point. You are missing the point. I am saying only that my opinion is not a lone angry man opinion. That's all. And also, just stick to the topic which we're talking about right
I
now.
am.
which
I'm not
is
deflecting.
this-
I'm just
well,
trying
but
to
I'm saying
save
this
you
episode.
when-
Yeah, but your laundry listing of every
No.
time.
I knew going into
just
tonight
did.
that it was going to be a teeth pulling, because I was going to say
No, why
I
is
liked
it
it.
pulling?
I enjoyed it. I don't know why. I can't tell you. I thought it was stupid.
Well,
I didn't
and
say
that's
it was
okay.
well written. I just said the fact that we're at this level now with this show, I've just
Yeah.
accepted it. Maybe I've gotten whatever that syndrome is when you just
Stockholm
Stockholm
syndrome.
syndrome.
Yeah,
And I
yeah.
go, okay,
Well-
it's not going to turn around tomorrow and become the doomsday machine. It's not going to become, the
But
world
they-
is hollow because I touched the sky. None of that's ever going to happen on this show at this point. It's already written itself off. It's got one more season, then a couple filler episodes for season 5. It's done. I mean, they've already signed this up in a package, and it's delivered. There's never going to be an altered course on this show. It's going to get goofy. You got Muppets next year. It's going to get goofier. So you know what you're going into. So if
Yes,
if you just sit back and go, it's not canon. There's no way the show's canon anymore. There's Kirk and Spot and Scotty.
We'll see.
My wife's like, how's that guy meeting Scotty? I go, we don't even talk about it anymore. It makes no sense how they know each
Well,
other.
yeah.
So, but I go, and where's my brother? Oh, George isn't on this week. I'm sitting there going, oh, wow, what the hell? They didn't want to pay the guy money. What's going on behind the scenes?
Exactly.
Why would his brother be
Yes.
on the show? It made no sense. But I'm sitting there, John. I don't get frustrated anymore. I literally just put it on and just stare at the screen because
Yeah, but my
you go
displeasure.
nuts. You go crazy.
I don't. I don't go crazy. It is
You made a list
displeasure.
of stuff. What was wrong with it?
I did because I wanted to talk about these things because they didn't make sense. And further,
Yeah.
it's entertainment. Mitch, kayfabe, wrestling, and how I'm going to beat that guy and everything. They don't really feel that way. Half of my arguments and stuff, it's meant for entertainment purposes. I'm sorry you're not entertained by it. But again, I like that we have different opinions. I think
Well,
that's
yeah.
good.
If we came on every week and just said this is the greatest things in sliced bread,
Or if we all
wouldn't
hated it.
we wouldn't be genuine. People
Or if
would
we all
see
hated
through it
it.
as horse shit. But the thing of it is, like I just said, I kind of just go, this is the best they're going to do.
Well, but
They're
there have
good.
been good. There have been good episodes in all 3
Not
seasons.
this
There have.
season. Not this season.
I disagree.
Which
Again,
one? Oh, the zombie one was good. I'll
I
give
thought
you
the
that
zombie
That
one was
good.
decent. I thought the other one, the hegemony part 2. I'm still not crazy about the Gorn.
The one where they made fun
position.
of what was the one that was just on a week ago that was goofy?
The
as-
documentary.
Oh yeah, the documentary was bad. The one where they made fun of all the original Trek when they had that holodeck was.
Gee,
I don't know what
Mitch,
the hell
how
that
come
was.
how come you don't like those? And I'm not going, this is why you're wrong, and this is why you're negative.
No,
And
I don't like those because they were pale.
So why pick on me?
imitations. No, I'm not picking on you. I'm telling
You
you,
are picking on
those
me.
weren't good because they tried to do something else that wasn't an original idea. We all said they ripped off The Office and MASH episodes for that documentary one, and it was like, what is this? It could have been good. It could have been good, but it wasn't. And then the one with the holodeck, it just freaked me out because we all know they don't have holodeck technology at that time, but I'm like, I'm going to let it go. And then they just started making fun of original Trek. And I was like, I don't
Right.
understand what they're doing here.
Well, there you go.
But this week's episode didn't seem to be a ripoff totally of any other, every show does one of those swap episodes where you're going to be the guy and I'm going to be this and you're going to be in charge of the camp. And I mean, they've all done this. So every show.
This is the third time they've done a swap. They did Spock Amok, where he and T'Pring switch bodies.
Yeah.
Okay. Last season it was I'm suddenly human, and now this season all these guys are now Vulcan. They've done it 3 times, and they only have 10 episodes a season. It's like, and I don't mind doing tropes of other things like a documentary thing. Do it well, and that's what I would say to this comedy. Do it well.
Well, wait. One last thing. And that list is saying this person said they were offended. This person didn't like it. This group said this insulted people. Do you have in that list of anyone who gave it rave reviews?
Sure.
To be a balanced, then let's hear.
Sure. There are a bunch of shows that I watched where I don't have specific episodes or podcasts, but I did scan around to see what young people thought, because I am old. And I do have a different opinion.
Did some people say it was hilarious?
Sure, they did. Absolutely,
okay,
they did.
You didn't mention that. You weren't being balanced in your review.
Well, first of all, the two of you did like it more.
We did.
Therefore, I did feel that's fine. I feel that's being covered. But instead of it just being, John, you're wrong, and my opinions or whatever, I'm like, I'm not alone. And they had problems with it for different things. Again, forgive me, but it doesn't seem you were listening to what I said. What you were planning on doing, well, I know John's going to think this sucks, and I'm going to hear his negative stuff, and I'm ready to jump on him. Rather than listening, because I think I do have a very nuanced.
If I turned this on tonight, and you loved it.
Of what I'm saying.
If I turned on tonight and you said this was the best show I ever saw, I would have been dead. I would have grabbed my chest and died right there. Franco would have exploded. It would have been
again.
Poor Wayne's got his hand up. Okay.
I understand. It's okay to disagree though without personal attacks. Forgive me, but
I'm going to ask you this right now. I'm going to ask you right this now. We haven't seen season 4 because it's out next year.
Right.
I don't think they've even done season 5's last episodes. Do you right here on today's date? What's today?
Sunday, wait, I'm under court. I'm in court.
August 31st. Do you believe that there will be? You figure what? 2 episodes left, and then there's 10 next year. That's 12, and maybe 5 in the last 6. So maybe there's going to be about 17 or 18 shows.
There are 18
shows. Do you believe?
Go on.
In 18 shows left in Star Trek: Strange New Worlds, in between now and whenever it's done, will there be a great episode?
Sure.
You're going to say possibly. You hope.
Sure, possibly. Because
possibly?
I would say, well, I will explain if you let me.
Go ahead.
The Klingon episode where we find out about M'Benga killing everybody was a great episode of Star Trek. I said it last year. I keep saying it this year that it was. So yes, they are capable. I think the episode that they ripped off from Ursula Le Guin where the little kid running
the planet. Yeah. That was
great
season
idea.
1. Season 1 was a good,
there you go. And that's another good episode. So that's what I'm saying. And again, I'd be happy to go through the list. I don't have all 20 whatever. Yeah, Wayno, please go ahead.
Wayno. I think the problem is, and again, this is just my opinion, not John or Mitch's. When you look at the writers who wrote previous Star Trek, the original series had some really good science fiction writers. When we got into Next Generation all the way to Enterprise, we had people that loved the franchise and also people that had contributed prior or have grown up with the previous iteration of Star Trek, the original series. So you had that love going into the Next Generation all the way to Enterprise. Then we have that gap between Enterprise and then Discovery. Forget the movies. The movies are like one-shots. They're like movie of the week specials, sort of like McLeod goes to Texas. Columbo goes to Paris and looks for Mrs. Columbo. That's all they are. They're just little one-shots. They're not really anything other than that. The same thing can be said about Doctor Who. From the first 27 years before the movie, it was basically one continuous story and you had the writers, and it did, again, it was starting to peak and then going down because the creativity on trying to tell stories gets worse and worse. Now, I'm saying that the writers from Discovery till now, except for, I would say, the Prodigy writers were totally different and approached it a lot differently than the Discovery. All the live action was done differently than the animation stuff. I think if you look at the writers, they don't have the same background as what the previous writing group has. So what we're looking at a group that maybe wrote for soap operas or other type of dramas that really don't have that science fiction basic, like the basic knowledge of what science fiction is and how to tell a story, how to relate real world situations, but put it into the 27th century. This is how we can tell what's happening now in the 27th century. I don't think we have any writers that have written from Discovery to Strange New Worlds have been able to translate and to actually incorporate the science fiction concepts that were previously done a lot better by those previous writers and from the original series all the way up to Enterprise. If you look at the type of writers, and if you even look at the writers and what they did outside of Star Trek, the Star Trek TV series, whatever, you look at the books that they came up with and what they brought to the mythos, the canon, to Star Trek, is a lot different than these writers. But these writers are not looking to preserve the legacy of Star Trek. What they're trying to do is they're just trying to tell stories. And the only stories that they know is very limited in what their previous background is. And if all they have is like this teen drama or this CW or whatever, even if it's a CW science fiction, it's still teen drama at the end of the day. There's very few CW science fiction shows that are really, when you look at it, are really good. They always have that little angst, that love angst between people, but there's some like John, the one that's
Expanse.
Degrassi?
No, Expanse is totally different.
Right. Go ahead. I don't know.
Expanse is so far out of what this is. But you look at the writer's room, whatever it is, it's just that they cannot. It's almost like they go to the wiki and they're going, "Oh my God!" And then in this Star Trek episode, they had this. Hey, we can use this in this. So I have totally divorced myself from the fact that this can be canon and that all this is this is what current writing is. It's going to take characters or characters we know that we love that have been previously established, and they're just taking them on a ride. And it's almost like in comics. The best way to describe it in comics is you'll have a writing group, and what they do is they play with the toys, they break the toys, they put them back on the shelf for the next set of writers. You may not like this particular group of writers that take the toys, they tell the stories, and then move on. I think the same is right now dealing with the current Trek writers is for us older Trek people, where a lot of the stories were very, you didn't know it when you watched it as a kid, but they were trying to teach you something. It was the two levels. It's like the cartoons. It's like the Warner Brother cartoons. There's two levels to the Warner Brother cartoons. There's the goofy stuff where the kids are laughing their asses off. And then there's the sort of, whoa, as an adult, you're going, hey, that's a little subversive. And that's pretty cool. I like that aspect of it. I think that's old Trek. This Trek doesn't have that. It's not made for the older adult Trek audience because it just doesn't have that attachment to real world and the scientific aspects that inspired people to make cell phones. People watch Star Trek and they were going, we want to have that. You're not going to get that with this series, with these television. All it is it's a soap opera. It's a drama that's being written by people that don't have that particular experience. And so that's why when we look at it, we're going to look, I want to tear apart this episode a little bit. The Vulcans, Doug, Susan, I think it was Susan.
Yeah, Susan.
You look at the naming of the oh, my parents were all into humans. No, they're not. If you look at Vulcans, they're almost isolationist in their own aspect of what they are from what we've seen over the years. And the Contra was this special thing with it's your individual personality that we saw that in Star Trek 2, where Spock knew he was dying, and to preserve himself, he gave his mind to McCoy.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the Kartra. And when we look at this episode, they're taking something like that's very important, and they were just making fun. Hey, Doug knows how to do this, and the fact that it's no offense to Patton Oswalt, I am not a beauty queen or anything, but my God, when I hear him talk, all I think of it's Patton Oswalt. I don't even think of him like
when he said savoir faire.
Yeah.
Christopher Lloyd in Star Trek 3, The Search for Spock. All I thought of whenever he talked was Father Jim.
Yeah, Reverend Jim.
I thought he was great, actually, but I respect.
It's like Gilbert Gottfried. He got one voice, and it's always Gilbert Gottfried. Yeah.
And I think that's the problem. What we're finding is that these writers, there's a disconnect between what has happened in the past, what the type of writers that were in the past, and now. And it's, you know what? It's not written for us. It's written for a generation for disposable product. That's all this is.
But Wayne, if I may, as I said when I mentioned The Expanse, intelligence science fiction, and I is being written. As I am not watching Foundation, but I'm hearing great things about Foundation. All right, you're both agreeing. All right. Yeah. And again, I miss, and listen, this starts from the top and goes down.
Yeah.
But obviously the producers, and that's another reason why I mentioned what Henry Alonso Myers said in the interview, because I didn't want to just find other people that agreed or disagree with me. I wanted to understand why this was written the way that it was. And he said they're trying to do different things. And also, much like the musical, much like the holodeck episode, they want their cast to play, and that's fine. That's a choice. But I also think it can be a viewer choice, like my own, where that's disappointing. And especially when you only have 10 episodes, and I'd like more Star Trek in my Star Trek. There's a reason why Star Wars and Star Trek are still as popular as they are, because they've been around for decades, and they established a level of continuity and sameness and uniform storytelling. When you go that far away from the recipe, it stops being the thing that you are supposedly honoring. And again, I am very comfortable in my opinions and can voice them without attacking, whether it is people on this broadcast or others who disagree with me that just like this. And I would hope that both of you, and when Franco is here, that you would do that in kind. I don't think that's asking too much. Sorry, I don't.
We should just watch the
Mitch, any thoughts on what I just said? Or would you agree?
No. Oh, sorry.
I'm reading the comments on the side here.
Oh, because you're not listening to what I'm saying. I guess.
Go ahead, Wayne. Go ahead.
I honestly think we should just scrap this and do Expanse watch. Because if you want
to, seriously, shame on me for not getting back into the Expanse. I after the first couple episodes, I just kind of
or Foundation watch or something like that.
You know, that's like 3 episodes.
Totally different, that has nothing, no history, no baggage, so we could go, it's fresh. Watch Black Mirror. There's
I like Black Mirror. Sure, I love Black Mirror. And again, guys, I'm happy to talk about the other
I like
shows.
Alien, the new show. Yeah, I'm watching that.
I mean, we've got the only thing, you know, but again, I think we can disagree with things without personal attacks. And I hope
I didn't mean I'm Italian and Ukrainian, John. I don't have any middle ground.
My man, I will take you at your word, and I will accept it.
No, it's just I'll kill you and bury you in the backyard and not think twice about it. Go eat a sandwich. Well, let me tell you something. I watched what's the guy's name that does those honest trailers? They just did a whole thing about Star Wars for about an hour or so. I can't think of that. He talks like this. I got to get pizza rolls or whatever the hell that guy's shtick is.
Oh, I know, Trevor, the Red Letter Media guys.
Yeah, Red Letter Media. Yeah.
I love those guys.
They did a whole thing It was called What Happened to Star Wars? And I'm always asking that question because I love Star Wars. So I said, I'll watch it, and I listen to it in the background. And he does the whole thing kind of like what we do here. He says, they had these movies and then the prequels, everyone hated them, but now they're looking at them like they're the greatest thing since Gone with the Wind. And because the sequels came out and they sucked, and they're like, oh, let's go back. And then he started talking about all those new shows, The Acolyte and Andor. Andor is the greatest thing since sliced bread, but The Acolyte is a piece of crap. What's going on? And then he starts breaking it down. He's like, wait a minute. They're just telling the same story. It's about two twins. There's a good one and a bad one. This one, they go, oh, wait a minute. It is Star Wars. And it was just a rehash, but it was done in different costumes and different, effects. And then you're like, Obi-Wan's fighting Darth Vader. We already saw this, but we're doing it again. And then he comes to the thing about, oh, this was great. You got to see this. He talks about the amount of subscribers that Disney Plus has. And this was mind-blowing, okay? He said it's 1.5 something in the entire universe of the entire world population. And he says, this is how much it really is, because they said they have like 200 million. And then he breaks it down and he says the biggest amount of subscribers to Disney Plus is in India, which is 54 million subscribers. And my wife does international stuff. And she goes, well, it's because it's the most populated thing, blah, blah, blah. But then he goes, no, they attach Disney Plus to some sports channel like ESPN, so everybody watches soccer there. Yeah, so they might not be watching Acolyte or Andor, but they're getting Disney Plus because it's attached to the World Cup channel, and so that makes it look bigger. Then he goes to the United States, which was number 2 at like 42 million. And then he goes, okay, 42 million, there's 380 million in the country. How much? And then you start going how minuscule that is. And then the stuff that they're delivering. And they said, when we saw like Star Wars, for instance, everybody saw Star Wars. Everybody knew who Darth Vader was. Everybody knew who R2-D2 was. Then he's shown how it's broken down now into the audience that Star Wars has. How many people know who Grogu? How many know who Fat Boba Fett was? How many people know? So it's gotten smaller and smaller and smaller, but they try to make it look like it's a big world out there because they have the conventions and they go, oh, look at the box office and this, that. But it's really so minuscule. It's not. I started thinking about Star Trek because Star Trek, to me, seems a lot smaller than Star Wars in mass appeal nowadays. So I said, Jesus God, if that is how thin a margin that the Star Wars fandom is, even though in my mind, because I look around my room and I see all the Star Wars shit, I think everybody's like me. And you find out it's like this. Star Trek is like this. So with that said, like Wayne just talked about, when the people were complaining about all the new Star Wars, it's not real Star Wars. This is what George Lucas went down. This is that. It's just like you when you say, well, this is not the real Trek and the real Trek is going off the thing. I think their numbers that they're trying to appeal to, I don't know what the Paramount Plus subscription rates are, but I got to think it's tiny. If that's the only audience they're making this show for at this point, because it's not syndicated, it's not on regular TV or Netflix, they don't really care. I think they're getting a paycheck, to be honest with you. They're just going to get this thing out the door and out of here. The actors are just showing up for a job. No one's thinking of this as a cultural phenomenon like the original Star Trek or even Next Generation. So that's why I think when we get crazy, I go, I think this is just like watching an episode of what I don't even watch TV anymore, but NCIS Chicago or whatever the hell they have out there. It's just being churned out like a big freaking McDonald's.
Mitch, obviously, the new owners of Paramount, Skydance, know that it is potentially a valuable franchise. It isn't the size of Star Wars. It's not going to be. I understand that, and everybody recognizes that.
No, like Harry Potter. That's a thing.
However, all right, I just let you go. Can I finish?
Yeah, go ahead.
Thank you. But the thing is, why would you piss off the foundation audience and deviate so much that you split the audience? And if everything was fine with Secret Hideout moving forward, it may still happen. I honestly don't know. But they are kind of on the bubble right now because they divided the audience, because they had, at least as far as both Paramount and Skydance are concerned, I'm glad you guys like the Section 31 movie. They kind of saw it as a missed opportunity. And that they had Michelle Yeoh, and it was not the greatest script, and it really was just there. And again, Mitch, I get the idea of, hey, this is just entertainment. Sure it is. Of course it is. But again, enduring entertainment, there's a reason why there are literally hundreds of novels, hundreds of comic books, all the different permeations of Star Trek that have gone on since 1966. And if it was just The Prisoner that only was 17 episodes and that's it, or some of these other franchises, good. I'm glad you agree. Because I mean, that's the thing. The reason why this thing endures is other fans went on, even in the 70s when they made the technical manuals and or those best of Trek books that were collections of essays about Star Trek.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, those were adults writing that stuff. Mm-hmm. They were inspired by it. And it's disappointing that the current caretakers don't see the potential of new inspiration. Space is still very much unknown. As Wayne said, not only do we have engineers that got involved because of Star Trek, we had people joining NASA because of Star Trek. And because of people like Nichelle Nichols recruiting for it. And it's like, oh my God, that could be me and everything. There's a change in editorial. I recognize that. Occasionally they get back to real Star Trek or whatever, or at least classic stuff. Let's call it classic Star Trek. Shame on me for saying real. I will mea culpa. I misspoke. Don't hold it against me 3 episodes from now and tell me how you said. But anyway,
real Star Trek.
Well, exactly. But no, honestly, man.
It's like real Star Wars. What is it now?
Well, exactly. Well, but again, but Andor is a great example of give it to the right person. Terry Matalas with Picard season 3, give it to the right person, and they can make something that I think also catered to the young audience. I don't hear a lot of young people, other than I have heard a few people say, "Oh, well, you notice how the kids all get sucked into the changeling and Borg, whatever Borgified and everything." But it's the old people that bail them out. Oh, I see the message there. And it's like, no, man, they were the heroes. They're the heroes of the show. And we all want legacy and we want new people.
No, because you had Geordie's daughter in there. She was a young
of course
kid.
We did. But they got Borgified. But they got Borgified. They did get Borgified.
I thought Geordie's other daughter helped her at the end get the ship out of the space museum.
The one that was on the ship got Borgified. The one that was the other one that was with Geordie in the museum, she did not get Borg. As far as I remember, I don't know.
I don't think
3 years ago. But also, it's then and again, I'm only pointing out that other people had the problem, not to negate your opinions. Please understand that. I got to underline that.
I'm going to tell you why I got so defensive, because I'm sitting there listening to you and I'm moving stuff around, and then you go, I wasn't the only one. So-and-so young people said they didn't like Spock's. And I'm thinking, well, wait a second. If I said I enjoyed it, then holy shit, I must be a bad person because
you don't listen to me every week.
No, because
you don't.
I'm just saying I tell somebody, I go, oh, I love MASH and stuff. Somebody go, oh, wow, you really like MASH? Yeah. So you approve of Klinger and all this and the hate against. I go, whoa, what are you talking about? It was a show that was written there because of the whole dressing up.
Dressing up,
Section 8, and he's trying to get out because he was crazy. And now it doesn't age well. Hey, man, neither does Amos and Andy. You don't see that on TV too, do you? But at one point, that was on the number one show in America, probably. Well, the world changes and Star Trek changes too. So it's like I can't sit there all day and go, well, I liked it, but I guess, God forbid, I enjoyed that episode because I guess apparently now you just said a bunch of people were offended because of Vulcans. And I'm thinking, there are no Vulcans. There is no thing. What are you talking about?
I understand. But again,
swap out robots.
Just as they identify with the analogy of somebody like Spock, who comes from 2 different backgrounds and can ascribe an LGBTQ mentality with that portrayal. Great, fantastic. That's what they relate to, and that was my only point. And further, every week, and I am getting a little angry. I say, if you're enjoying this, fantastic. The last thing I want to do is change your mind. I'm not here to change your mind. I'm just here to give my opinion. Well, I'm glad that it's different from your guys' opinions.
Today,
but I think we can do that without.
Today because I watched Trek and stuff. I was sitting there and I saw Data. I assume he's down at Dragon Con or something. He was on a panel, Brent Spiner, and he was there. And he said Brent Spiner talks about the symbolic use of Data as a role model for autism. I was like, really? I didn't know that. And he said now people come up to him, and it's been 30 years since he was Data started. He said that people have identified with his portrayal of how Data was trying to be a human. and he was outside of everything. And I go,
Right.
yeah, and I did that. And again, I don't know where this was coming from. I just again watched the show, loved his performance, loved the character, loved all the episodes. So he said that people come up to him and thank him because they said that's how they feel, because they feel alienated because they're not like everybody else, because he was an android, he wasn't human. So they said, but they liked it. And he admitted, he said, listen to me. He's glad it meant so much. He's glad it, and these are his words. You can go look it up. I'm not saying this. He said it meant a lot of people. And as an actor, that really touches him because his portrayal. He said, however, if at the time he was doing the part and the writers had heard all this, he said it probably would have affected his performance because he's like, oh God, I have the weight of all these people depending on me. And the writers would have written the character differently because now they go, well, this is a role model. This isn't just a guy on a TV show about space. This is a characterization. So a lot of times and I got mad because I was sitting there going, to me, it was like, oh, they became Vulcans and that's it. And then when you're like, well, these people, I go, I think are giving a lot of credit to the writers of this episode because I don't think they're even thinking of this broad
they weren't.
world of audience out there. They're probably like, I got to get this episode done. I got to hit the deadline and we got to get this production. I don't think they're thinking of this.
Not for this episode. I completely agree with that. No, they were just trying to have fun. My point is, again, art is subjective. And your Brent Spiner example absolutely underlines that. Hey, all these people with autism or who deal with people with autism see this in the portrayal. And it would be a huger responsibility and everything if they knew that back in the day. But that's what happens with art. Art perception of art changes. Revenge of the Nerds was perfectly acceptable comedy back in the 80s. Now it's like, hey man, some of those nerds, man, they were like, having sex under, false pretenses and it's a little rapey or whatever.
Well, geez, John, I got the Revenge of the Nerds anniversary coming up next year, Terrificon, so I guess I'll scrap that one now. But anyway.
Well, Mitch, I'm sorry. But
no, I was telling Karen Allen, here's a good example. Karen Allen was sitting next to me. I did her panel, and we're talking about that scene in Raiders where she's like, oh, Indy, I was a child. I was in love. You know what you were doing. And then it was like, oh my God, she was a child. She was in love. He's disgusting. How dare he take that? And she's like, no. First off, one, it was a story. Two, it was written. And she was like, people brought so much to that. Like, how dare that Indiana Jones? He was attacking some young girl. Like, that's not what they said. Whatever. And it was
Mitch, that's the problem though, Mitch, because again, they're happy. The current writers of Star Trek are very happy to tell you about the positive analogies of today, like having the relationship between Gray and I forget the non-binary woman on Discovery. And it's like, that's great. Luke. And again, I was surprised to learn that when I was just seeing what everybody thought, that some of these Gen X or these millennials are like, no, this episode wasn't cool because of these analogies. And what you're saying kind of flies in the face of all the positive stuff.
Yeah, I was going to say, maybe some people did identify with them and thought it was fantastic. Like, thank you for expressing what my world's like. You can't please everybody.
No, of course not. But again, my point is, I just didn't think it was funny. I didn't think it was clever. I didn't think it played enough within canon or just obvious things. Like I said about, well, this world has aliens, just the Vulcans, fine. But again, why would they have such a different attitude? Because that's how he wrote it. And again, if that didn't bother you guys, God bless you. More power to you. That's great. It just there a lot of times for humor to work, there needs to be a thread of truth in the humor. Oh, good. I'm truly glad you guys are nodding because I think that's true. There was no truth in this. It was pure farce and it was pure silly. And I just didn't. I mean,
what if one of the characters stayed Vulcan? Would that have been like a big event? Like, oh my God, we know you knew it couldn't have been O'Hara. You knew it couldn't have been Chapel because we all know what happens to them. It couldn't have been Pike. It could have been Leon. And then that would have been nut. And you know what? That would have been an interesting character development because if she became full Vulcan, now Spock could go with her. Because they're both Vulcans, and then he's like, but I like Chapel, so that makes a whole, love triangle.
What if she does a 180 turn and suddenly becomes a threat because she wants
that would have been a good episode.
Well, yes, it would have. Well,
if that was in there, would you have liked it then?
Yes. Sorry. Right. Of course.
Wayne, get on the phone. We're going to retcon this episode.
Well, no, but I already pointed that out
Mhm.
earlier and said, well,
Yeah.
that would have been an interesting thing. Again, you got to hear what I'm actually saying, Mitch, rather than just, well, John's going to be mad and come in with a preconceived notion, because there are layers to my critiques. I'm sorry, there are, and if you don't see that, I can't help you. You only hear what you want to hear, and I'm not
Right.
saying you. I'm saying that anybody in general. But again, I feel very confident and comfortable when I complain about the show, because there are nuanced things that I like and things I don't. I like that Mabenga was this killer and everything. I didn't like that all of a sudden in the documentary, the ghost, and
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
everything's redacted. It's like, again, it's like you guys, they almost, without thinking, they kind of screw themselves over. And that has nothing to do with science fiction. Pay attention to the stories that you've written previously.
Oh,
Again,
and then
guys,
the other one,
I
what's
think
her
all
name?
these are fair questions that aren't just, well, I'm not just the comic book guy. Sorry, I'm not.
What's the girl's name? Oh, Carol King.
Yeah,
You could write her out of that you could write her out of the whole series. It wouldn't affect Jack on this show. She was just, oh, it's like when I took LSD and it didn't work back in the 60s and the 80s and last Tuesday. I'm like, bye.
Why
And
are
then
you
it's
okay
like,
to find that stupid? And I
no,
suck because
no.
I think it's stupid.
I love her. I love her as an actress, and since
Oh my God,
Taxi,
she's brilliant.
but I think she's been a waste since she came on the show. There's no point
Amen.
to it. And then when they show her quarters and it's full of all this junk, first off, these people's quarters, I don't understand how they're the size of a goddamn presidential suite, because they're massive. And Kirk had a little tiny cubby hole, and everybody had a little tiny box.
Yeah.
Now you got a fireplace, you got a kitchen, you got
Okay.
the other one working on a V8 engine like Jade's garage over there. You got Spock's got a dance studio in his. I don't even know what's. I sent you guys a picture tonight, and they showed a scale model of them building like the deflector dish, and the people were like this big, the little ants. It was like a construction site, and I'm like, how big is this goddamn ship nowadays?
Did you guys? And I know it was in her mind when
What?
before the dance off happened.
Yeah.
But when Laan was in her quiet place and they had the whales, like that. And
Yeah.
again,
I thought,
sorry, I mean, a little. If I'm just, let me finish my thought, Wayne.
Yeah.
By all means, I really thought, and maybe just that specific humpback whale was extinct, but they kind of looked like humpback whales, and it's like, well, they don't fix that until Kirk is a middle-aged man. Why does Laan know these things? Please, Wayne, go ahead.
I thought that whole aspect was Spock entering into Laan's mind, and that this was just her trying to get into like a quiet spot. So
Yes.
this wasn't any. This was not reality. This was just sort
Sure.
of going into a mindscape.
Absolutely.
That's how I interpret
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
So, but I'm saying the specific whale reference. Why would she know about them if they're extinct? Why would Spock know about them if they're extinct? It just seemed to be there, like, hey, look, whales. Remember, we had whales in Star Trek 4. And it's like,
Humpback whales, but maybe there was other whales. There's other whales out there besides humpback.
I understand. It just seemed a little, and unlike Prodigy, where they actually did extrapolate and are like, no. The whales in Prodigy, they're the children of George and Gracie, the two
Right.
whales that they bring to the future. And now they are so grateful that the humans, reverse the extinction of their species, that these two whales join Starfleet. Okay, that's cool. I mean, again, my two buddies, Lansing and Kelly, that are doing one of the IDW comics, they are about to do, actually, I think it starts this Wednesday.
I picked it up, the new Strange New Worlds. I bought it today when I was at the
No,
comic shop.
not Strange New
Oh,
Worlds. It's called The Last Starship. That's a good series too. That's Robbie Thompson, who apparently is one of the writers on Strange New Worlds season 4,
Oh,
and
okay.
he wrote for the Winchester. I was just telling Wayne off the air. He wrote for the Winchesters, which was the Supernatural prequel, and he wrote on Supernatural as well. But no, The Last Starship is something that takes place. It's an IDW miniseries, and it takes place immediately after the burn.
Oh,
How
God.
does no wait, Mitch, because actually it's a good idea, or at least it's an interesting idea that I'm willing to travel with Lansing and Kelly, because they did Star Trek Year 5 and gave us more TOS episodes. But this is, so it's in that 150-year period before Discovery fixes the burn. How did the Federation immediately address the catastrophe the next day? What did they do? and Dorian Starship Captain takes the DNA that has been sitting in that abandoned station since the 3rd season of Picard of James T. Kirk and clones a Kirk.
Oh,
There's the face. So obviously,
because that was already done in those Star Trek books years ago with the husband and wife couple, where they had the nanites reanimate Kirk's body.
Right,
Yeah.
sure.
Like,
well, but very different. It wasn't a clone. It was Borg nanites that reanimated and fixed whatever problems there were with Kirk when he died on that bridge on Viridian 3 or whatever the hell it was.
Viridian 3.
But it's no, it's like, okay, that's interesting. And they're taking, again, like the idea that Discovery presented in season 3 of all of a sudden the trilithium or whatever, the dilithium went inert.
Burned out.
Went inert. So now, planet to planet travel is, okay, that's an interesting problem. The solution being it's a weepy child who screamed, and that's why.
Yeah, it made no sense.
Thank you. And that's my point, that a lot of the things that they introduced in this episode, comedy or not, they didn't make sense. And I think you still need that through line. Like I said, rascals, pseudoscience, all of a sudden they're kids. But the threat is, hey, the Ferengis just boarded the ship, and our captain and several key members of the crew are kids. What the hell are we going to do? What do we do? And they're the only ones that aren't being.
Well, there was a lot of clunkers that season. Remember when they reverted back to animals? They were like,
terrible episode.
And then there was one about the sun god thing that Data was turning into.
Masks. But again, 1 or 2 episodes out of 30 or 25 or 20. This is the 3rd or 4th gimmick episode in a series of 10. And based on what Myers said in the interview that I saw, my suspicion is we're going to get even more gimmicks next year and everything else. And I understand. They're like, hey, we're having fun. And it's a question of, well, does the audience agree or not? It's not universally accepted. And that's the only reason why I bring up these millennials' opinions of this. These are the reasons they didn't like it. That's all I'm saying. And I'm not saying it to negate you guys. What do you got, Wayne?
I'm just going to base it on, and again, this is a very, very small sample. When I was in Vegas with Star Trek, that there was the older people, like the older people that was in my little group.
Sure.
They really didn't like New Trek. They were just saying, this is not Trek. And I said, yeah, no, I agree with it. But the younger people that were younger than myself, because I was in their age group.
I get it.
So I would be the neutral zone. I would be the DMZ between these two groups. But the younger people really love what's happening with Strange New Worlds. It's just,
sure they do.
It appeals to them at a level that more than previous Trek. But they just,
I get it.
They just love it. And
I get
again, I'm not saying that the people that you've talked about saying that this episode was like horseshit, but no, it's just for whatever reason.
Yeah,
I would. You know what? If we're still alive, I hope so, because in 10 years' time,
we'll be alive.
Or even 15 years' time, we be able to see like the love we're seeing now for the prequels? The Star Wars prequels. There is such a love for those Star Wars
of course there is.
prequels compared to when
they were coming out and we hated them. Yes.
Now the sequels in the 15 years time, will we see the same effect? Will there be
good question.
A love for the prequel?
Good question.
Sorry. Now,
good question.
With this little chunk of Star Trek, are we going to see in 10 to 15 years time, oh my God, this was the best thing since sliced bread. I don't know why people hated it at that particular time. Because it's almost like when something's come out based on beloved franchises, and if there's such a diverse opinion, and that there's probably more haters than there are people that enjoy it. At the end of the day.
Yeah, because you know what? They won't be 10 years from now. They won't be watching the original 60s show. They won't even be watching Next Generation because
probably not.
They're not watching DS9 because they didn't transfer it onto a nice clean.
Oh no,
crisp-
respectfully, Mitch, they are watching, and that was going to be my point. Is when DS9 came out, and especially those first 2 seasons,
Yeah.
they got the same complaints that I have with new Star Trek. This isn't Star Trek. What are they doing? Even Majel Roddenberry said Gene would not like the direction this show has gone
Because
into
of conflict and stuff.
Yeah, with all the war stuff in it. Absolutely. Now DS9 is considered yes, and I feel the same way.
Yep.
And it's a forebearer of season-long television storytelling. And now it's beloved. Voyager is getting even guys like, sorry, I'm going to mention him, my buddy Rob Burnett and the Trexperts guy, Mark Altman. They hated Voyager. They hated Voyager. And they're like, you know something? I watch it now. I realize there are a lot of actually very good episodes of Voyager. And I always say, a third of a Voyager was actually great Trek, a third of it was just average Trek, and a third of it sucked. And again, they were warmed over Klingons. Absolutely. It was ridiculous. Yeah, it was ridiculous.
The shit in their hair.
The Vidians that needed the organs, the phage.
Oh yeah,
that's an interesting idea. And again, the name of this show is Strange New Worlds. They name check 2 aliens, and I get it. Budgets. This is a bottle show. They got to save money where they can. I absolutely understand. That said, we got name checked 2 aliens. We never saw them. We never even put somebody in an outfit to go, hey, thanks for fixing our nuclear reactor, or Doug being on his, whatever planet, the pleasure planet or whatever.
Yeah, it was a closet. There was nobody there. I was like, where's everybody? And the other thing is too, when the hell did their mess hall become as big as Tent Forward? I was like, holy crap! Look at the size of that.
Don't be negative though, Mitch. Why are you being so negative? I don't understand why you're being so negative.
John.
I think the physics
just
blows my mind. This is a TARDIS. I swear to God, it's not the Enterprise. It's the TARDIS.
There's a podcast called Trek Yards where they really get into the technical details, and they said that the version of the Enterprise that's been in Discovery and Strange New Worlds is 100 yards longer.
Oh, it has to
than the original series.
I think it's the Enterprise J. Have you ever seen the comparison of all the Enterprises?
Yeah, I saw one the other day. I didn't realize the Defiant was so big. I go, wait a minute, the Defiant's not that big, and they had like scale to each one of them, and it was the size of the original Constitution class. I go, Constellation. I'm like, it's not.
Yeah,
no, it's
no
not.
Way.
It's maybe
no way.
Maybe the size of the dish, but not.
They only had. Yeah, they only had like
10 people on it. It was
I was going to say actually, I think they've said like they would have like 50 people on board the Defiant.
Oh, okay, but
to the 450. Exactly, but that's the thing, man. It's like, and also supposedly they have these science experts and other people. I assume the science person was told, "Yeah, don't worry about this episode. We're going to screw around." Because again, all right, now I've got the DNA, and again, you'll forgive the real world analogy, but can you imagine if there was a serum that supposedly turned you into a person of name your color of
like that Superman issue where Lois Lane turns into a black woman?
Yes, indeed. And if they all spoke like the most stereotypical people of color, that would be
Ghetto
embarrassing.
Man did on the World's Greatest Superheroes back in 1978.
Again, really wrong, but it was accepted back then. I'm not saying it was.
I'm
good,
just saying we've lived through a lot of stuff. Go
we
watch
have,
the
but
episode.
there's an intolerance to those things now. And again, I bow to the social norms of the moment. I absolutely do. And I welcome shows that reflect the positive sides of said norms. But I also think that it is odd that maybe and I don't think they intended to do it, but again, based on some of these millennials' reactions, some, not all, some, I'm like, okay, well, that's the problem they had with this episode. Just saying. That's all.
You honestly should bring on somebody that you know that has loved every one of these episodes so far.
I have.
Who? Not us.
Well, actually, Keith DeCandido, up till this episode, was all about loving new Star Trek, and he's like, this was really embarrassing, and he gave. But
he liked the documentary one and all the other ones this year.
Yes, he did. Yes, he
did.
Has.
Oh, I would love to have that guy come on as a special guest.
Well, again, I'm, and that's why I'm happy to take those people. I've had writers of Strange New Worlds season 4, Robbie Thompson, and again, I'm not going to shit in his punch bowl, but again, and also it, like I said, it starts up top. So I don't know if this is Kurtzman. I don't know if this is Myers or Akiva Goldsman or Kirsten Beyer. All the main showrunners that are, no, it's got to be this way. And also the people they hired, just like Mitch or Wayne said, excuse me, that, these are people that write teen soap drama and stuff like that. They don't have the background. And that's a shame because we're losing those writers to For All Mankind and Foundation and when the Expanse was still on and stuff. So they're out there. They're just not being chosen.
That's interesting. If they did hire like a David Gerald or they hired a Harlan Ellison or they went out there and hired, I don't even know who's modern day. What's his name?
The husband and wife couple.
Yeah, Reeves.
Judith and Gar Reeves Stevens, yes.
Right. Or they went and got
Mike Jan Friedman.
Timothy Zahn.
Timothy Zahn, sure.
Timothy Zahn, why don't you write some Star Trek and see, because you did Star Wars so well, why don't you see what you could do with this? That would be interesting if they just literally had a new Star Trek with science fiction writers on there. Not comic book writers and stuff, but I'm like talking prose novel guys.
Or hire Mike McMahon from Prodigy or from Lower Decks.
Lower Decks, yeah.
And the Hageman brothers who ran Prodigy and promote them to live action because they were giving us fresh new ideas and fresh new aliens and also taking existing canon and spinning it. What they did with the Packlids and Lower Decks was fantastic. What they did with other, I mean, they Prodigy redeemed the outrageous Okana and even Wesley. Wesley was actually cool and interesting as a traveler. Not that stupid scene in Picard season 2 where, yes, I'm going to take you to a safe place and it's going to be wonderful. It's like, again, so they have people, or Terry Matalas. And again, it's like Terry Matalas does a great job and totally rescues Picard. And that's great. We're going to do Academy. How you doing? All right. Again, I don't know what Skydance's plan is. I have no idea. And my suffering might continue if Secret Hideout is given an extension. Regardless, it's just like where, and I find this interesting, it's just like where DC's movie universe was right before Superman and before even Creature Commandos, where they still had to put out the second Shazam movie and the Flash and Blue Beetle, and it's like, all right, well, we've got this stuff. Yeah, that's what it was, the second Aquaman. That's like, all right, we got to put that stuff out there. And it was kind of like, zombie DCU, because you knew it was going away, but we're stuck with it. Maybe that's what these next 2 years are going to be. It will be interesting to see. And again, the only reason why I bring it up is maybe if Skydance really wants an actual change, maybe they combine seasons 4 and 5 and go, hey, you know something? We're going to burn this out. Not only are you going to get those 10 episodes of Strange New Worlds, but you aren't going to have to wait till 2027 for those last episodes. We're putting it all out in 26 because technically their contract with Secret Hideout is up at the end of next year, at the end of 26. And they haven't had the meeting yet of, okay, here's a deal we're going to offer you. There are rumors, and I know they're rumors, but it does kind of make a plausible sense that Skydance wants more control because and that if they do renew Secret Hideout, that they will have more editorial control over what was given to Kurtzman and company with the current iteration. Because the problem was Paramount, Les Moonves didn't like science fiction. He didn't want to deal with it. Here's a pile of money. Go make Star Trek. I don't even know what it is. And that's essentially what it was. And that's what we got in these last 8 years. Okay. But again, we'll see. But that end of behind the scenes, I think is interesting. And that's why I like to talk about it beyond my frustrations with an episode week to week and everything. We got 2 left for this season. Batel's Gorn issue is still there. Are we going to go back to Ortega? I hope we're going to go back to Ortega's PTSD. I hope we are. You don't think we are, Wayne? Really? Honestly,
no. I think it's done because if you look at the documentary episode, she's working through her PTSD building a motorcycle.
Well, the funnier thing is she got approved by the Vulcan guy. By the way, when did this Vulcan Starfleet guy come into play? I was like, wait a minute, when did that happen? That dude.
Oh, that was in season.
Ad Astra. It was Una's number one's trial.
That's where that guy was. Because I'm like, where's this guy?
Yeah, Batel and that guy. Well, that guy was the main judge. It was I think it was a tribunal.
Yeah, he was the he wasn't a judge. He was the prosecution.
The JAG. Yeah. Oh, excuse
No,
me. You're right.
yeah,
Thanks, Wayne. That's right. He was the prosecutor. Exactly.
So
And so that's where he came from. And it's the Federation's JAG office and everything.
you know what's going
Not
to
JAG
happen?
off, but,
No,
well,
no, no,
I know
no, no.
that's
They approved her this week to get her own command again.
no. They
What-
approved her to
Fit for
take over the
duty?
judge for court, to be the JAG, not to be a
She'll be
captain
the
of a
I
JAG.
thought
starship.
she was going to be.
No,
I
no.
thought they were going there. I was
That's
like,
the
oh,
thing.
so
They're
she's
not
gonna
giving her a command.
leave the ship and it's gonna blow up, like literally, like
Oh,
that'll
yeah.
be the big cliffhanger.
Oh,
Like she's
absolutely.
about to leave the ship and he's giving her a hug, and then he goes to put his hands around her back and he feels all scales, and then he goes to look back and you see the big lizard face, like, and then it ends.
Well,
Fade to
yeah,
black.
or again, she goes full Gorn and lives, and she's the mother of the Gorn that fights Kirk in Arena.
Yeah,
in EOS. I mean, no, there's a lot of different theories. Or yeah, she dies in some weird. Because the other thing, and
Horrific
again,
way.
Wait a minute. If they have something that could change your DNA with the Vulcans, why don't they just shoot her up with it and get rid of the DNA and make her a better human and get rid of the
maybe
Gorn?
that's coming in 9 and 10. You don't know. Maybe that is. Maybe
It's
it
a
is.
secret.
Maybe. Shut up. Secret. I get your secret. No, but that's another thing that I mean, I don't mind us like in any show speculating and things about what is going to happen next. I mean, yeah, I just think there's a big red bullseye on Battelle and has been ever since she got.
Oh yeah, since day one, she's done. She's
But
gonna
also,
die.
Somebody
die.
pointed out that again, Pike knows he's going to end up in the chair and everything, and also eventually he doesn't know it now, but like, so they're basically saying that Vina from the cage and Battelle are the only two loves of Pike's life. And also something has to happen to Battelle that if he's in the chair, why is the better alternative to live on Talos 4 in the cage with Vina? But also the other interesting thing is, as someone pointed out, Spock was taking him to Talos 4 against his will.
Yeah.
And that's kind of like, wow, you got this disabled guy in a chair, and it's like, no, you're going to go in this cage and you're going to live out the rest of your life. Now, I do think he obviously was convinced, watching everything and maybe being reminded. And again, it was made in the 60s. I get all that. But that's where canon is tricky, guys. And they kind of cherry pick. And
Well,
again,
I was gonna say, don't ruin a great episode for me for the last 50 years.
I'm just
like,
pointing out a fan's theory.
He took a
Relax.
guy who
You
was
need to relax
disabled
more than
and
me,
couldn't
buddy.
speak
You
for
need to
himself.
relax.
He
You can't handle handle somebody else's opinion. You've got to relax.
It's like he
took
took Stephen Hawkins and threw him off a bridge because he couldn't stand to see him in that condition anymore, and he remembers when he was young and vibrant. I was like, maybe Spock and Pike have a little living will thing. He says, "Hey, Spock, if something ever happens to me and I end up a freaking doorstop, if I end up a doorstop, 2 lights, whatever you do, take me to the forbidden planet." Oh, you mean Genesis? No, not that
He's
forbidden
saying
planet.
no.
Other forbidden planet.
But no, Mitch, he's saying no the whole time at the beginning of that episode. He's beeping no. And
Well,
again,
then Spock was a dick, and I never realized until now. And you just ruined one of the greatest characters in all science fiction because he was an uncaring, womanizing.
I'm sorry, my words hurt you, Mitch.
I'm offended by your interpretation of the cage or whatever the hell it was called. I can't remember. I'm so flustered. I'm so upset, John.
Well, there you
Menagerie.
go. Yeah,
Thank you. Thanks, Canada. But. Jesus Christ. He was saying no because he didn't want Spock to throw his career away and ruin his life.
Sure,
that's what he was saying no to. Not like, no, don't throw me into the Talos.
I accept that point
there
of
you
view
go.
without saying you're wrong.
Just save that
me,
one.
Yeah. Unlike you. So, sorry, man. That rubbed me the wrong way. I'm like, hey, don't. So,
John, I'm offended I offended you. I'm one of that. I'm super offended now.
Say, can't win, man. Gotta get the last word in.
The shark win?
What?
Oh yeah, Sharon saw Jaws for the first time yesterday. I was
like, hey, no kidding. Oh wow, that's great. No, that's great.
It was. You know what though? I went to go buy the tickets on Friday It's at an IMAX theater, which is a big theater. That's where we see all the Marvel. It was sold out. I go, wait a minute. This is a 50-year-old movie. We've all seen it. It's on like TV every other day, I think. It was sold out. So we went on Saturday. Yeah, but it was a 4K restoration. It was beautiful. And Spielberg comes on before the movie and he says, this is better looking than the one I made back in 75 because we've cleaned it. We've done whatever we need to do. It's brighter. It's brilliant. It was unbelievable. So it's on a giant IMAX. It's even playing in 3D in some places, which is insane. Because I'm like, that was never meant to be a 3D movie. So it was beautiful. And then my wife goes, I know of the movie, but I've never actually watched it. And I literally get up to go to the bathroom towards the end when he's about to go to the shark cage. She's like, where are you going? I said, I gotta go take a leak. I drank this whole giant gulp thing. And she's like, no, you can't leave now. I go, I already know how this is going to end. Don't worry. She goes, well, what if somebody dies? I go, oh, I'm pretty sure one of these guys is going to be dead. She's like,
Nice.
I go, I can't tell you. And if you ever read the book, it's the guy that's in the cage dies, actually. So, anyway. Yeah,
no, but that's like.
But anyway, it was great, though. Everybody went to see it, and it was amazing. I'd be surprised if it was number one this weekend. Go ahead.
Much like when they've done revival showings of the original Planet of the Apes, there's something about that moment when the cornfields are thrashing. Oh, yeah. And all of a sudden you see that ape on horseback. When you see that on a big screen, that's a big impact moment. And Jaws is filled with big impact moments.
Let me tell you that.
So it doesn't surprise me. Yes.
The head bobbing. Yes. I've only seen Jaws once before, 50 years ago when I was 9. And I remember that scene in the movie and people's popcorn went flying because they were so scared because you didn't have the internet ruining everything. Right. But so she doesn't know any of this stuff. So I'm watching her reaction and I know the head, Bob Gardner, I can't think of the guy's name. The boat's going to come out and the head's going to bop out underneath the thing, the decapitated head. So my wife's sitting there and sure enough, you hear the music like that psycho scream. And then the head, Ben Gardner, and his head bobs out. She screamed like you wouldn't believe. I was like, oh, this is nothing. Yeah. Wait till the bigger part comes and the shark jumps out of the water where you're going to need a bigger boat. And she was freaking, oh my God. I was like, how do you not know this stuff? You know what I mean? But it was fun to watch Jaws for the first time with somebody else. So
Or the fingernails on the chalkboard.
Oh yeah, the scratching.
According to Mike, Jaws came in at number 2.
Was it number 2? Yeah.
I wouldn't doubt it.
There you go.
I was like, damn, this is a lot. And it was full price. The ticket wasn't like a $5, whatever Phantom thing.
Well, because again, it's 4K and it's, it's, I get it.
And then they advertised Back to the Future's coming out. I'm like, and some guy goes, yeah. I go, I already saw that too 40 years ago. And then they go, the Spider-Man movies are coming out with Tobey Maguire. I go, oh, I'm buying that ticket. And it's so bizarre that we're going to see movies that we are on TV all the time, for God's sake.
No, it's not. Because again, I do it with old movies, like when Eddie Muller comes to town with the Film Noir Festival. Yeah. And they're movies that I've seen on television a million times, but it's cool to see them on the big screen.
It is nice.
Absolutely. And also with Back to the Future, as I understand it, they're going to do it in 4K, all the crazy
stuff. Yeah, that's what this was in 4K too, the picture. So yeah.
Or not 4K, excuse me, 4X.
4D.
4D. With the thing 4D. That you went to go see.
John's special chair.
John's special thing with your wallet flying through.
I swear to God, that's a true story. I swear to God, that's a true story.
I should have taken her to see that if it was in 4D. Imagine the shark coming at you in the whole seat movie.
Oh, jeez.
Mike says Weapons made a few million more according to box office.
Everybody likes that thing. I haven't seen it.
Low budget horror flick.
Oh, is it a horror movie? Is that what it is? Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It deals
apparently
with the disappearance of kids.
There's some Demon Slayer movie which is making big money.
Yes.
It's an anime, but it's not Japanese. It is anime.
It has its cult following.
Yeah.
But they're fanatical about it. Like this is
and again, it's like the box office is so decimated. No, but my point is that the box office is so decimated that even a movie with a cult following can win or have a significant box office week. Go ahead, Wayne. What do you got?
Except for the movie I saw on Friday, where I was the only person in the theater.
What?
The Toxic Avenger Unrated.
Oh, really? Oh, I was hoping to go right.
Now, how was it? How was it, Wayne?
No, it was like a trauma movie with a budget.
Yeah, sure.
But
No,
Trauma,
Chroma.
Trauma
But
was
yes.
good because they were low budget. That was the whole charm.
yeah.
of it.
But this
Yeah,
that was the charm. That was the charm of all the Trauma, and they always used the same the car because Lloyd only had money for one, and they
Yeah.
did that one car, and it was in practically every movie.
Yeah.
That one car just sort of flipped over. But this one
wasn't that Sam Raimi with his
Sam Raimi had the same car.
No. No, yeah. Trauma had this one car that was driving down the street and would always flip over. And he used that one because it was such an expensive stunt. He'd use that over and over again.
I get it.
But in the updated version, to sort of accommodate Peter Dinklage's size, because when he transforms, he's a little taller, and I don't think he's the one in the makeup. I think he just does the voice.
Sure.
I don't think he gets in the full makeup.
I get it.
But they have the mop. It's like he uses the mop like Gandalf uses his staff in Lord of the Rings.
Sure.
And they had beat for beat from the original movie dealing with the fast food scene, taking out the villain. It is hilarious. And Kevin Bacon's
in this?
He is acting his ass off as an asshole corporate guy, guru. And it is hilarious.
Because that's the thing. It was a low budget movie, the original, but it was speaking to chemical waste and dumping
and this one's doing the same thing. It's dealing with chemical waste.
So it had a real,
but it's hilarious. I thought it was really funny. And they have a bumper at the end that was just like, he's talking to you and talking about how to make the perfect grilled cheese. And like, this is what he does to make the perfect grilled cheese. And it's just.
Did he do a bit about the hi-fi thing? Down low, too slow.
No, he didn't.
Pull my finger. We didn't even talk about that.
That was odd.
Pull my finger.
Right. But it's just like I don't know. The Toxic Avenger is just
that's too bad.
It's an interesting move. No, it's unfortunately
it bombed basically. There's no second.
Oh God,
yeah.
Oh, I don't think it's gonna. No, it'll be on video on demand.
Oh, you know what's odd? The Downton Abbey things. They showed a trailer for that. That show's been off the air for years, right?
But they've made this is the second or third movie they've made since the
show. Because it said the final chat. I'm like, wait a minute.
Well, because Maggie Smith already died, and she was the old lady on the show for years. But yeah, I think as a final thank you, fans, because that's a huge IP internationally, huge. Yeah. So no, I get it. That's fine. Now, when did you see Red Sonja?
Yes.
And
what I did was I bought it on iTunes.
Okay.
Because I looked for it in the theater, and obviously it doesn't have any theatrical release, at least up here. And I liked it. It was
good.
It was a lot better than the Brigitte Nielsen version.
Oh God, that movie sucks.
And that wasn't that hard to be better.
No.
It's an interesting story. There's elements of it dealing with mechanical devices. And then you're going, well, this doesn't make sense in the Hyberian age. But the guy is using a book, and I'm going, oh, yeah, it kind of makes sense because we're dealing with the concepts. The whole concepts of Robert Howard's books he includes Atlantis with Kull.
Yep.
And then goes into Conan, which is subsequent to it, the Atlantis.
Yes.
So
exactly.
So when I was looking at this and watching it, I'm going, oh, yeah, okay, this makes sense because they're probably these machines are more or less Atlantean technology.
Sure.
And it makes sense.
Sure.
So and I don't know. This was a big budget movie. I don't know why I got panned. I don't know if it I haven't checked out the ratings for it.
A lot of Robert Howard stuff obviously plays internationally, more so than even here.
I don't know. I don't know. Matilda Lutz, I thought she was good as Red Sonja.
Stanley says it was good, looked a little cheap. Okay.
I didn't think it looked cheap. I thought the money. I've seen cheaper productions, and I have.
Is it like that Kevin Sorbo movie? Is that like that?
Oh, it's not like Kull.
Oh
God, no. Kull the Conqueror. No, it's not like that.
Was it as bad as that last Conan the Barbarian movie that went out? Not the one with. Jason
that's
Momoa.
Jason Momoa as Conan.
No, there was another one after that too. I think.
No. There's Conan the Barbarian, then Conan the Destroyer, which had Grace Jones in it.
Yeah, I know that one.
Then
Yeah.
there was a
Schwarzenegger,
Conan TV series.
Yeah.
And then
there was
the
the
last
Jason
Conan
Momoa.
movie, the last Conan movie was Jason Momoa. Now there's
Okay.
also Solomon Kane. Who,
Yeah, that's a good movie.
The
I've seen
director of Solomon Kane directed Red Sonja,
Okay. Well, that's
Oh.
like
if I'm not mistaken.
that's like nobody went to see the Judge Dredd Carl Urban movie here.
I did.
Well, very few people, excuse
I
me.
know.
But my point is that obviously in Great Britain it did great. You know,
did
and
it?
again, yeah, of course it did. I mean, that's their Batman.
The
for God's
guy.
sake.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No. And the other thing is, and I know I mentioned this earlier to you guys privately, I didn't know it was kind of based on Gail Simone's run, her run of Red Sonja.
I knew
So
that.
it makes me want to like read that run to find
It's
out,
good.
okay, what did they
It's good.
take from it to incorporate into this movie? Because it's geared up for a sequel, because it ended with like an
We'll
end
see if they
credit
make one.
going like, hey,
Hmm.
there's a sequel that could come out of this.
We'll see if international box office says, "Oh
Yeah,
yeah, we'll get a
it's
sequel."
too bad, because
But-
I would have loved to have seen this in the theater.
The one wrinkle I loved, if I may, the one wrinkle I loved about Gail Simone's run was she'd always try to hook up. Red Sonja would always try to hook up with people, and she had poor hygiene, and she smelled really
Ew.
bad. So the guys would always be like, "Yeah, maybe not. See you later."
No, that's
and I love that. No, I love that. I think that's hilarious, and that's Gail's twisted humor. So that's sadly that is the one thing about Gail's run beyond because it's just like Jimmy Zub. If everyone who loves Conan and you're
Jim
now
Zub,
reading Jimmy Zub's Dark Horse Conan's Titan.
no, it's Titan. Yeah.
Titan.
Titan has the license.
Yeah, it's great. It's
It
great.
is.
And Jim
Really
is
good.
so a great guy. And I'm so glad, unlike Star Trek, where there is a divide in the fan base, the old timers love what Zub is doing with Conan.
Was that
really,
Dynamite?
really,
Was
he
that
says, love
Dynamite
Gail Simone, you should interview her. Have many times, Stanley. Thanks for
the Red Sonja license is with Dynamite.
No,
the
but the
Conan
ones you
license
put-
is
Yeah,
the
is
Gale
with.
one.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
it was
Dynamite.
That was Dynamite.
Yeah. It's because I don't even think not reading the original as much of the original stuff. Sonya's kind of based on a Howard character, and also it's spelled differently.
Yeah.
It's not
Because of the legality, the copyright. It was SONJA.
No, even
and
but even before that, this is even going back to the 70s when Marvel was doing it. And stuff.
Roy Thomas. What he did was he adapted a character, the Red Sonja character that was spelled with a J, if I'm not mistaken.
Right,
Yes.
right.
Is like she's almost a contemporary to Solomon Kane in the 1600s.
Oh.
So she's in the 1600s. She's nowhere near the Hyberian age. So what Thomas did was he took elements of the Red Sonja character and then brought her back to the Hyberian age.
Right.
Oh.
Correct.
Okay.
Yep.
Because she only appears in a few things. Like she's not a major character in the Howard universe.
Yes, agreed.
It's what Marvel did with her. And then took the elements of the character and then made her own.
Agreed. And even Roy loves Zub's run. So that's, the only guy I haven't heard from is Barry Windsor Smith. So,
yeah.
That's funny. Chemdog can imagine a Titan Conan Doctor
that would
Who
be
crossover.
interesting.
Sure.
Be
Why
cool.
not? Why not? Romana, look where we are. The Hyberian.
Marvel's doing Avengers meets Alien and Captain America meets Alien. I'm like, pretty soon it'll be Darth Vader meets Alien because why not? They own all that shit.
I'm sure, I don't remember if we talked about it last week or not, but I'm hearing that after Secret Wars, they're going to start rebooting Captain America and Iron Man and everything.
The movies, man.
Oh, sorry, movies.
I
thought you were talking about another comic series.
Talking about the movies.
No,
Nope. Talking about the movies.
Okay.
Yep. So,
didn't we have a Secret Wars already?
What do you mean? A movie?
What was the Samuel L. Jackson thing called?
Oh,
yeah, we had that
Invasion.
Secret Invasion.
Oh, okay.
A little different.
That wasn't good.
Oh, that's how.
Yeah, Carrie's right. We're almost at that point where Abbott and Costello kill the Marvel Universe. Indeed. Very true.
We need Gru.
And yeah, Chemdog, I agree. Conan and Leela, a match made in heaven.
Oh, my God. That would be perfect.
Yes. Hello. Leela.
Oh, that would be cool. Yeah.
Sure.
Tom Baker. Those two, and then K9 dealing with the Iberian Age.
Yeah, I'm sure Conan is like throwing spears at K9 and everything. Absolutely. So, all right, boys, there you go. You know, good.
Well,
good
you didn't
kid.
talk about Peacemaker or anything.
Oh, we didn't talk about Peacemaker. Shame on me. If you want to say something about Peacemaker, feel free.
Did you watch
Your
it?
turn, Mitch.
I'm behind. I'll admit that.
Oh,
I'm
did
behind.
you catch up, Wayne? Number 2?
Yeah, I'm all up to date.
Yeah, no, it's really fun so far. I mean, the aftermath of the orgy was like, okay.
I don't know.
Oh, is there an aftermath
in
in episode 2 of the orgy? There's an aftermath.
Well, you got to clean up that stuff all over the place, So he comes in the next day, and the guy's standing there.
They didn't do it in The Boys. They certainly didn't.
No,
clean up after the
no,
Boys.
they didn't do it. But here's the guy's
I think the house exploded, so maybe they didn't need to. And
can I get some coffee? And this guy's walking around with his junk hanging out. It's like, yeah, okay.
And
so it's
the guy, Adrian, is it Adrian Chase? That's the
that's the vigilante.
It's his name, but it certainly isn't the comic book Adrian.
No, it's not. But he is.
He's.
I don't know. Him and Cena are they're perfect foils. They are Abbott and Costello.
No. If it was a different character, but I really was such a fan of that vigilante series that I won't deny it. I mean, again, not trying to rain on anybody's parade. If you're enjoying a new vigilante, God bless you. I like the old one. I really liked how it was tied to the Titans. I appreciated how dark it when Kupperberg wrapped up the series. And he kills himself. Sorry, spoiler. 40-year-old spoiler.
40-year-old book. Yeah.
Just like in Star Trek, Strange New Worlds, where I'm saying it's not canon, Peacemaker and Vigilante and all that stuff is as far from canon as it can ever be, because that is not Peacemaker.
No, not at all.
Not original.
And that's not Vigilante. But it is funny. It is
until a new regime comes at DCU, it is canon.
Well, did you see how he retconned that first episode? So what's
Supergirl?
funny?
Was Supergirl?
No. Yeah, with the whole Justice League at the end. That's gone. So I was gonna pick up the Peacemaker season 1 Blu-ray because I'm like, I collect all this shit anyway. Why not? So I went to go get it, and it was like $19. Okay. And then I didn't pick it up. And then the episode came out, and they retconned the whole thing. I went back to look on Amazon. It's like all sold out, and the only copies are like $120 now because I guess they're not making version again.
Yeah, they do limited runs now.
Now it's a collector's item because he's going to reissue it. Obviously, when they do like season 2.
Oh, sure.
But
like the original.
Like the original one will be there. Yeah,
it's like the original Star Wars stuff.
It'll be like Sebastian Shaw in Return of the Jedi. He doesn't exist anymore. You don't see the old Anakin Skywalker. It's like, nope, we don't have that guy anymore.
Yep.
So
Yep.
It is, but you know what's odd? They reference the Suicide Squad because the murder of what's his name, Rick Flag's son.
Rick Flag's son.
Yeah. So that they even showed that in the movie because he's reading the file, and I'm like,
canon, guys. Yeah.
It's how could that be? Because
he's cherry picking. He's cherry picking. Oh, I bet Waller shows up.
Well, they wrote her off. They said she was replaced by Frank Grillo's character. Yeah,
but she'll be back.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think.
Anyway, that was on Aliens, Earth, whatever it's called. I watched that one.
Yep.
And Lee Pace was really on promoting Foundation, so that's coming up.
Like and it is.
That's everything.
Is that the fourth or third? Is that the fourth or third season that's coming up?
Foundation. Third.
Yes, Foundation. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Oh, but it is. That is one where you can say it's an adaptation.
Oh yeah.
Novels, not. It is not a direct. They're not follow. It's not following the story. It's following ideas from it.
Okay.
Like if you read Foundation, I read Foundation years ago, and I don't remember a lot. Like I don't remember how much of this Empire stuff. I think that's all new. Is the Empire?
I read in the 80s. I don't remember.
Here's something I want to ask you guys, and this is again, when they say this is created by, like this is created by this person, I think words are important. I think it should be more adapted by, not created, because they didn't come up with these concepts. They came up with part of it, but not all of it. So you didn't create.
Agree.
What are you talking about?
Foundation aspect. Yeah. No. All these shows, everyone says it's created by. I think it's more, you've adapted a source material. It's just like in the Oscars where they talk about
adapted screenplay
Here's
versus
adapted screenplay versus
with
an
you.
original
I get it.
screenplay.
Yeah.
That really
Yeah.
what all these shows are,
Sure.
if they're based on something else, are just adaptations.
But they do
And
that
they're
with
not
Star Trek.
related.
They do that with Star Trek.
Yeah,
They're
but like I'm looking like at
Foundation.
Foundation and all,
Yeah.
some of the other series.
Yeah,
It says
yeah.
that this is created by, and I don't know. I just think that it's cheesy.
No, like Star Wars, they used to be like based on characters and situations created by George
Yeah.
Lucas,
Right.
and
Yeah,
then they kind of like, oh yeah, this is we're doing our own.
Developed for television. Perfect. That is
Right.
He
Yeah,
things just wrote. Yeah, no, I think that's good.
Carrie wants to know if she loved the books. Will she enjoy the TV show of Foundation?
I enjoyed the books a lot.
Yeah, back in the day.
Like
So
the
therefore, are you
Yeah,
enjoying
I
the
think,
TV show? Follow through.
Yeah, I
two
think you'll
different
enjoy
things.
both. I mean, it's like, again, Jaws the book and Jaws the movie
Yeah, I
are
get
two
it.
different things. Yeah.
Yeah.
two different things.
Those Godfather book and movie are two different things.
So
Dune and Dune '84, two.
Very much so. Very different.
Very different. I think that you'll get a lot because Asimov dealing with psychohistory, it was just an interesting concept of how he knew that there was the universe, not the universe, the society was going to collapse. He had to find a way to save it. And he created this concept, that magic. If we're going to call it, it's magic because it's psychohistory. You can't wrap your head around it because we have no idea what this thing is. But by using psychohistory to gently push societies along the path, just like in Dune, when you're reading the Dune novels, where you had Duke Leto II, where he's wanting people to go down the golden path because he knew at one point his reign is going to end and that the universe is going to collapse upon itself. The same thing with psychohistory. Psychohistory is trying to guide humanity down its path so that there will be destruction, there will be collapses of society, but this is the best path to maintain society as a whole. Sure. And that's what you're going to get with the Foundation books, is this creation of this one man who creates this idea to try to preserve society. The Foundation books, and then you got to read. Do not read Prelude to Foundation before you read the other books first, because I think you'll get a greater appreciation of Prelude to Foundation. That Asimov goes back and says, "Hey, why don't I go back and figure out what did Harry do beforehand?" But I think if you read the Foundation trilogy, you're gonna go, wow. And especially
she read the Foundation trilogy. She's asking if the TV show.
Oh, yeah. No. It's
don't lose the thread.
Yeah. No.
Yeah. Okay. It's funny. After watching 4.5 Falcons, I put on Taste of Armageddon and mentioning what you said, and it never really occurred to me before. But Taste of Armageddon, where they go into the disintegrators and they're having the war, it's kind of very Foundation-esque in that they wanted to maintain the culture, but still there was destruction, but not to the full devastation of what a real war will do. So does
that guy's daughter kill herself in that one? Does she go into the machine? Remember that episode?
No, they saved her. Yeah, they saved her.
I was just like, I remember that, and she's like, "Oh, I have to go," and he's like, "You can't go," because
they hold her.
With her.
Yeah, of course. It's the girl, the woman who was the desk sergeant's girlfriend in Hill Street Blues, Barbara. I forget her name.
Oh, that was her, the blonde.
Yep.
Really?
Yeah.
I did not know that.
And she's Clint Eastwood's wife in Space Cowboys.
Oh, wow. I had no idea.
Yep. The more you know.
Whatever happened to Betty Thomas? Did she die?
I don't know. She went behind the camera because and she had a big improv Second City
she was
career before she was doing camera work and stuff. Oh yeah. No. She's in a very funny.
Wayne's looking her up. I can see now. I'm like, yeah, whatever happened to Betty?
Yeah, I think it's 50-50 she's still around or not. I don't know. Betty Thomas.
Did she make A League of Her Own? Was that her big movie?
No, that was Penny Marshall.
Penny Marshall. Oh, but Betty Thomas did some big movie. I can't remember. Or maybe she did TV.
Well, she did a lot of TV. She directed The Late Shift. The Leno versus
Letterman.
The
Leno Letterman thing. Yeah.
But yeah, she began doing.
Well, Wayne, what is it? Dead or alive?
She's still on this side of
Oh,
the
it's
earth.
good.
Yay.
That's
good.
good.
We like
She's
her.
above ground still. Thanks.
Above ground. She's above ground with us.
Chemdog says she's 78.
Yep.
Excellent. Excellent. I know. I worry about that stuff. All my favorite
No,
people.
sometimes I go, oh, whatever happened to that guy? Oh, he died 12 years. Oh,
Yeah. Yeah. No, it sucks. It sucks. So, all right, boys. There we go. Spirited debate tonight, everybody. We'll see how the next 2 episodes go, and we will try to get through them
gotta
without
get Franco back on here.
Yeah. Well, I really want to hear what Franco thinks of 4.5 Falcons, and of course the next 2 episodes. And unfortunately, guys, we are. I don't know if you want to be on the journey or not, but Star Trek Con is going to be. That's going to start on the 8th, a week from tomorrow.
Is it all free, or you got to buy it? It's just
I don't
free?
know. I honestly don't know. I think if they're smart, it's going to be available for everybody, but I have no idea.
So it's on Apple Podcast. You don't know where it is?
I don't know.
No, it's just so weird. It's premiering,
I don't know.
Like where?
I don't know if you're going to have to watch it if you only have Paramount Plus, and you'll because just like HBO
Batman.
Max. HBO Max has audio dramas of The Flash and Batman, and they're on HBO Max. So I don't know. I honestly don't know.
You think with such a big thing like this, they would prepare? Oh, by the way, when you watch Strange New Worlds, you get an ad to go to Star Trek.
You've asked this before. No.
Pardon
me. I apologize.
In the beginning now, I don't think I get ads with Star Trek now on Amazon. I don't even know anymore. But no, it starts off with a commercial to go buy Star Trek merchandise on the StarTrek.com website. And it's all young kids wearing, not young kids like 8 years old, but like
I get it.
Yeah, they're like wearing Star Trek uniforms and hats and stuff. I go, really? Oh, okay. You don't see that? I see it.
I don't see it. Sorry. Mario says Paul Jenkins likes new Trek. Really? And I never discussed that with him. So I don't know. Oh, that's funny. Chemdog says Betty Thomas directed Alvin and the Chipmunks, the sequel. And that was a hit.
That was it. My kid loved that. I got the poster upstairs.
There you go. Like what you like, everybody. Even if I disagree with you, I'm not here. I'm not here to change your mind. I'm only here to. What do you want, Horseshack? What do you want, Horseshack?
Mr. Carter.
You don't have to scream. What do you got?
I found it. It's going to be on Spotify.
Oh, okay.
Star Trek Con. Star Trek
Con. I just found it.
So it's free on Spotify, I assume?
Well, yeah.
It must be then, huh?
Yeah. All right. And I imagine they'll run commercials on it or whatever.
Weekly? Yeah, does it say how many episodes, Wayne, or nothing?
Oh, that's on the other one. That was on the
It would be interesting if it's only on Spotify and not on other podcast platforms, but we'll see.
Yeah.
I guess we'll find out. It is interesting, though. And and of course, it's on the 8th because a week from Monday is Star Trek Day. Exactly. The first day that it premiered with the Man Trap back in 66.
That makes sense.
60 or 59 years.
Yep.
There you go.
9 episodes.
Okay.
Oh, okay. That's not
9
bad.
9 weeks.
B Thing says he sees it on Apple Podcasts. Wonderful.
Oh, all right, cool.
I assumed, again, if it's on Spotify, unless they had some exclusive deal. So I wonder if they will put it, though, on Paramount Plus as well. If it was smart, they would. But who's to say? I don't know. But we'll see. And we'll see how far. I mean, I don't know what Nicholas Meyer's original story was, but it is an adaptation of what he wanted to do in the miniseries that he was proposing for live action. I don't know how much it's changed. I don't know if we'll ever know how much it's changed. But I guess another Trek property, if you guys can handle my disagreement, maybe we'll watch it. Maybe we won't. Just saying. All right. On that note, let's wrap things up. Thanks for watching this week. We'll be back next week. Hopefully Franco will join us. Until then, stay safe, stay happy, stay healthy.